Abdallah Kader's mom asked us to go with her to see if her nightmare would meet her face to face in jail, like he met us. Lubna Kader trembled, holding pictures of her son, thinking of all she wanted to say. Minutes later, Stuart Richardson walked in. 5 years of pent-up rage erupted.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Look at this face. Look at him.
He looked at the smiling toddler who was strapped into a car seat when the car was crushed, and at the vegetative little boy, now 2 months from his 7th birthday.
I'm very sorry for you.
I don't care about your sorry. Don't say it. You make me more angry when you say sorry.
I'm very sorry. I hope God blesses you very much. I don't know how.
I don't want to hear you. I just want you to hear me today.
Yes, ma'am.
Richardson pled guilty to felony DWI, one of several charges he faced. He hasn't been tried on the others. An appeals court is considering prosecutor requests for tougher penalties based on several DWI-related arrests in other states.
He said I'm supposed to go home now and my son is going to be okay because he said you're sorry. It's been 5 years today. 5 years. My son is dying every single day. Every single day he's suffering. He can't see. He can't talk. He can't breathe. He can't eat. He can't do anything. He's in pain every single day. Every single day.
Stuart Richardson had told us he keeps a photograph of Abdallah and prays for him.
You said you have a picture of my son in your cell? Don't touch it. Don't touch it. He's an angel. And you're a devil and you're not supposed to touch an angel.
Prosecutors point out Richardson might simply be trying to make himself more sympathetic for a future jury. Only he knows what's really on his heart. And on this day, to this mom, it doesn't matter.
Just go. Just go now. I'm never gonna forgive you. Never gonna forgive you for what you did to my son. I'm never gonna forgive you. Never.
In Fort Worth, Jim Douglas, Channel 8 News. Seven years ago, there was no Veterans Park in Springtown. Rhonda and Bill McCrae started one. They had to do something with all that hurt.
You can either wallow in your sorrow and feel sorry for yourself, or you can get busy and do something.
It began as a way to honor Corporal Heath McCrae, killed with 2 other Marines when an IED blew up their Humvee in July 2007. A Marine in the next Humvee died too. The McCraes spread out pictures of Heath like a puzzle that could never be solved.
To have given his life for something that seems to have no resolution or purpose leaves us with a cold and empty feeling inside.
Now they watch extremists overrun ground soaked with that blood and feel just as helpless as they did 7 years ago.
What can we do?
What can we do?
The only thing we can do is put troops there for 50 years. And can we do that everywhere that there's a problem?
They discovered they can do something. For the more than 50 men and women Springtown has sent to Iraq and Afghanistan.
We ran out of room on the sign. We couldn't keep adding to it.
Heath McCrae and National Guard Sergeant Luke Mason didn't come home, but Veterans Park is for the living.
It evolved into recognizing the sacrifice of all these veterans.
Springtown donated the land. Granite, flags, and all the rest came from church dinners, auctions, and sponsors. A place to show gratitude. The McCraes are grateful for something else, too. On Memorial Day, they got a visit from a sergeant who was sitting next to Corporal McCrae.
It was wonderful to be able to speak to someone who we know heard our son say his last words and could tell us exactly what happened.
It made them feel better. So does this place that is here only because their son cannot be. In Springtown, Jim Douglas, Channel 8 News. It's the Bearcats and Bulldogs on a night for penguins and polar bears, or whatever this thing is.
Just keeps the snow off of me in case it snows tonight.
It's a Lido playoff football. They'd be here in a blizzard, and some came ready for that, too.
I got a package of hand warmers.
Looks like you raided Cabela's before you got here.
We did. I've got a quilt.
Are you pretty comfortable? Yeah.
I've got ski gloves and ski hats.
How many layers do you have, Tracy?
I have about 5 layers.
Plus the sleeping
And the
bag?
sleeping bag.
Hits hurt a little worse, but we saw players loosening up in T-shirts. The icy bleachers might have kept some fans away. I know you got a bad case of bleacher butt up here right now. It's gonna be cold.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
But the band still has to play.
The colder it gets, the harder it is. So like sometimes our valves get stuck and we can't do anything.
Most everyone, even teenagers, were dressed for whatever the night brought. And if they didn't bring the right gear,
I got a big bear right here, though.
at least they brought the right bear. We started with a simple question.
Do you trust the police?
No.
We asked it at the Rosedale store, corner of Amanda and Rosedale.
Yeah. Do you trust the police?
Hell nah. No.
They'll jump us first. Oh, because we're a minority, I guess.
Do you trust the police?
Yeah, I trust the police.
Adam Ali runs the market and adjoining restaurant.
Been broken into, or you've been robbed?
Everything. Every time I call, they come.
This is Stop 6 in southeast Fort Worth, one of the neighborhoods targeted last week in a $500,000 federal grant program to cut gun and gang crime.
Your Crip, your
Blood.
A few days ago, Rashawn Moore's 80-year-old grandma made the news when she got wounded in a drive-by shooting.
They just rolled by shooting up the house.
Hey, was it a Crips and Bloods thing?
Nah, they Crips like I'm a Crip.
I used to cover shootings and crack raids here nearly 30 years ago. Maybe businesses were open then. The little strip center is mostly boarded up now. You could wait a long time for anything to be repaired. Trust, hope, not everyone's waiting.
I'll start school in January. I'm going to go to TCC, the community college, and just finish off my basics until I can get somewhere that I would rather be.
Davisha Wiggins lit into the young men for all the gang talk.
That's going to be the biggest factor we got. When y'all get on there and y'all act like how they already make us look, you get what I'm saying?
Johnny Johnson overheard this 17-year-old tell us he'd been kicked out of school.
You go back to school, get your education, not for nobody but you. Not your brother, your sister, your mama, or nobody. You the one got to live this life.
Johnson says he used to own a store across the street. It's a vacant lot now.
How old were you when an adult got you into robbing people?
5.
Roderick Williams told us he got sent to the pen as a teenager. Tolliver Moore went twice.
Just like him, you come out of the pen, it's hard to get somebody to hire you. You got to start your own business, right?
That's why I went to cutting hair.
Both say they've started businesses to give their kids a future, a door that opens to something brighter. Jim Douglas, Channel 8 News.